Hi, and welcome to How Are You an Adjuster? My name is Curtis Hordge with National Adjustment Services. Today I want to talk to you about your duties after the loss. When you file a property claim, residential or commercial, in your policy there's a list of procedures that you have to follow to make sure you're doing your duties after the loss. And that's normally the title, Your Duties After the Loss. The insurance companies will hold you accountable for these things to make sure you've done them the way they have them in their policies. First off, you have to give written notice to the insurance company. Now, when they say written notice, normally if you file your claim, calling your agent or calling the claim number inside your policy, as long as you get a claim number, your claim is filed. The written notice is kind of an old way of how they used to do it back in the day, and it's kind of still stayed net in some policies. Just give a prompt notice to the insurance company. When you find out, they need to know. That's what they want you to do, file a prompt notice of the claim. The second thing is on theft claims, make sure that you have a police report. You have to have a police report. If there's a theft, there's a crime that was committed, you need to have a police report to substantiate that it was a real theft and and it was actually noted and documented that a police came out and made a report. They're going to ask you for that report, and that report is very, very important when you come down to a theft claim. Also on theft claims, they ask you for receipts. They want proof of purchase. They want to make sure that you actually purchased that item or had that item. I remember when we were working hurricane claims down in Houston, and people would have 3 or 4 feet of water in their house, so they had to get everything out their house and cut the drywall up 4 foot around the whole house, and all their furniture and clothes, everything had to come out in the front yard. The city would require it. They would come back and send the people out to have a special contractors to come out to get these items and discard of all these contents and drywall and floors, everything they tore out their house. And so adjusters were coming out as well, and they'd kind of look at the front of your house and see all that content and say, this is what you had inside your house. Well, some people were taking TVs off one pile and put it on their tile, take it off their neighbor's pile and put it in their pile. And so insurance companies are very smart. You know, they're a billion-dollar industry, some of the richest companies in the world, and they take precautions to make sure that you don't take advantage of them. So you want to make sure you're doing everything you're supposed to do, so you're not be in a situation where you're struggling to get your claim settled because of something you didn't do that you were supposed to do. The next thing is protect the property from further damage. You have to make sure if it's a fire, call the fire department. Let them put it out. If it's a pipe burst claim, turn the water off in front of the house. Call a plumber, and eventually you have to have a restoration company come out to do some real mitigation. Maybe pull up some floors or pull some baseboards, cut some drywall, pull some cabinets. I mean, you'd be surprised. Water hides in places in the walls, and they have to get air behind these walls. These guys have the equipment to do that. Air, the fans and dehumidifiers and everything. So that's a little later down the line, but you want to make sure you take precaution to protect the property from further damage. Make reasonable, necessary repairs. If it's a fire situation, you have broken windows, get them boarded up. If there's a door that can't close, get it secured or put a board over the door. Just make sure you protect that property and make sure you secure it to where nobody can get in unless they need to be in. Also, if it's a roof that has a hole in it, get it tarped and get it closed up. But be careful with that, because I've seen a lot of rafters and everything that are burned after a fire, and the roof is not walkable because they're alligator, and I don't trust anybody to be on the roof like that. You might just let it just sit because you've done all you can. The damage is done. But if it's able to be tarped, definitely do that. Normally, the fire departments will call the utility companies and cut off the gas and the electrical, things like that. The water may stay on, depends on kind of loss it is. You can turn it off in front of the house, because the contractor will need that when the repairs are going. Keep an accurate record of repair expenses. Whatever you do, if you go to Home Depot, get boards, if you get 2x4s, whatever you need, whatever you spend, keep all your receipts. Whatever you do, if you're eating out, all that. Keep any receipt you have, because sometimes a policy provides coverage that'll reimburse some of these items, especially on this temporary repairs. Your temporary repairs, like board ups, tarps and stuff like that, that is a part of your claim. It's a part of your structure claim. It goes toward your dwelling coverage. And so that's very important to have temporary repairs or protect the property from further damage, whatever it takes to get your property where it's out of harm's way. Furnish a complete inventory of personal property showing the quantity, description of the loss. Now here is where it gets into what we do as public adjusters. We do a piece-by-piece inventory of all your personal property. And I know that could be a very tedious thing to do, to go in the burnt house and actually list all the things in there that are valuable, all your personal property, your clothes, your furniture, whatever it is. We actually document these things for you. That's part of our services as we do with public adjusters. But they ask you to do this. They give you a list and say, hey, make a list of the stuff you had inside your home. And people are devastated going through some of the stuff they see that they've lost. And I like to kind of assist them in that area to make sure they don't have to worry about going through that memory lane, which probably ain't a good memory at the time. So hire a public adjuster at that time. Hire us. We'll come out there. We'll do the inventory. We'll write the billing estimate to make sure we have something to show the insurance company what is actually owed on a claim. So the other thing is, be when you have a fire situation, be careful, because they're gonna send out what they call an origin of cause, a cause and origin. This is usually a retired fire investigator. Maybe he worked as a fire investigator for the fire department, or he may be maybe an engineer that became an investigator. And this guy's going to go through the house, ask you all type of questions about what happened, where were you, do you smoke, what was in this room, what was this plugged up, where was that, and he's going to find exactly where that fire started and pretty much how it started. It's going to be a pretty good scenario of what may have happened. So we got to answer all his questions, of course, and make sure you upfront about what happened, because these guys are very, very good at what they do, and I know a lot of them, and we talk a lot about scenarios where people didn't do the right thing, but I would say that the ones that do, it's pretty obvious that what happened. The insurance companies pay for suddenly and accidental. Suddenly something happened, or accidentally something happened. They don't pay for wear and tear or anything like that. So it's got to be something that's right now just happened, and you have insurance coverage for it. As often as required, provide the insurance company access to the property. Let them see the damage. Whoever they want to send out to the property, let them see the property, let them investigate, let them do whatever they need to do to make sure you don't hold up your claim. Also, provide them any records or any type of documents they may ask for. It's okay to give them that. You need to make sure you definitely, if you have access to them, provide those and be cooperative with them during that process. This is probably not going to see this on every claim, but submit yourself to a statement under oath. A statement under oath is when the insurance company actually puts you, it's almost like going to court. You have to put your hand on the Bible and say, so help me God, this is what happened. And to the best of my knowledge, this is the truth of what happened. That normally doesn't happen on most claims. Normally, when they start asking things like that, they feel that something wasn't right about the claim, and they're trying to just clear you and make sure you're eliminated from being a cause of that loss. Also, it says if they ask you, send in a proof of loss. A proof of loss is just a form, a document. You can go online and see it. It just says that this is this is what I'm claiming, and you have to put in your numbers of what you're claiming on your building, your contents, and it asks for like your mortgage companies and who's the owner of the house and all this type of stuff, the time of the loss, the date of the loss. It's a form. If they don't ask you for this form, they don't require it. But if they ask you for it, you have to get that filled out, and it's got to be notarized most of the time. The duties of loss vary from multiple companies. They're different, and they change all the time. So it's usually like a few pages after your declaration page, you'll see what your duties are. These are things you want to at least be aware of, because if you come to a situation where you have a loss, you want to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you know what you're supposed to do. So that's important. And next time I'm going to talk about what the insurance company is supposed to do. They have duties after loss as well. And so we're going to talk about what their responsibility is once you file a claim, to make sure they're holding their end of the contract. All right. Thank y'all for listening to the show. Appreciate y'all coming out. Subscribe, like, share. And I want to get more feedback on what's going on. We got some visitors going to be coming in, talking to me about different things, give me more insight. I got people going to be on the show talking to me, and you're going to really want to hear what they have to say. We appreciate you. You have a good night. God bless.